Hi, and welcome to the recording for 1.12, Obtain and Evaluate Information. As we get started, be sure you take notes during the recording. You want to make sure you have titled your note page with the lesson number, so 1.12, and the title. So as we get into the lesson today, so just as a reminder, you want to always make sure to have to find all your keywords in your notes for the Part 2 test. So remember that a source is a provider of information such as a book or historical document, online materials, or an interviewee. Okay, so looking at the lesson today, we want to make sure that we're able to evaluate a source and create a bibliography. Sometimes when we're doing a scientific investigation, we've got to do a little bit of research in order to get a background on a question that we might be posing. So research is part of science and engineering. It is important to evaluate the credibility of the sources that you use when conducting research. Where do you look for scientific sources, and how do you know whether or not they're credible? In this lesson, you'll learn about what to look for in a source. So there are a couple of different types of sources. You've got online sources, which is probably the most common that we use now. Using a search engine is a good first place to start when conducting an online search. A search engine such as Google, Yahoo, or Bing allows you to enter keywords so that the computer can filter through web pages that have those keywords. Just remember, though, that anyone can create a website. So remember that Google, Yahoo, Bing, those Wikipedia, those are ways to look up information. Those are not sources themselves. So then you can use the advanced search features. So if too few or too many sources are available, you may need to use the advanced search feature of a search engine for the keywords. So in the text or title, you can put those in parentheses. Or what type of file to search for, if you want a document, a video, audio, something like that. You can also search for documents that contain several keywords. This trick helps you find the best sources with much more quickly. Examine the domain name. So look for domain extensions such as the .org, .gov, and .edu. These domain names can often provide the most reliable information. The .com domain extension is reserved for businesses that seek a profit along with personal websites. So that's not always reliable. However, many reputable news organizations have the .com domain extension. So you could be thrown off by that. So what is the source? As you can see, not all sources are created equal. It is your responsibility to critically examine all sources before you include them in a working bibliography. Ask yourself these questions when examining the information in a source. Relevance. Does the information in the source fit your topic or research question? Currency. When was the source published or last updated? Authority. Who authored the information? What are his or her qualifications? Bias. Was the information written to be informative, persuasive, or entertaining? Is it trying to sell me something? Does it focus only on one side of a particular issue? So to create a bibliography, remember a working bibliography includes this information so you can find these sources again later when you go back to take notes on them. So you want the name of the source, so that would be your book, magazine, newspaper, the author, that's who wrote it. Publication information is where the source was published. So the name of the publisher and the date, whether the source is found in print or on the web, and if a resource includes the date you accessed the source. So if you found it online, just list that date. And then when you evaluate your sources, a student is conducting research on greenhouse gases and climate change. These are descriptions of sources that she found. Source 1, a government website that was last updated 5 days ago. The website includes data and explanations of the data by scientists. Source 2 is a blog written by a college student from 20 years ago. In the blog, the author provides his opinion on climate change but does not include any data. The website contains ads for oil companies. Which is a better source and why? So very clearly you're able to see that source 1 is much better. All right, so that gets us through this page, and that takes us through the end of the lesson. So you've completed both and you have check marks in both. So the next thing we will do is watch for the flip follow-up session in your Class Connect schedule. And if you have any questions or need extra support, be sure to come see me in Help Lab. Have a great day.